Susan Cingari here from Must Love MMA, where every fighter has a story. And each week on my YouTube channel, I bring you those combat sports stories. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe.
I work hard, I train hard, and I'm the best. I have championships in boxing, I got championships in MMA. So you know I can fight. If you take these gloves off, you can catch this wreck all day. I work hard every day. I'm the common American man. I get up in the morning, I go to work in the heat, I get off of work, I go train my ass off, and then I step in the ring and cage and destroy whoever won.
All right, combat sports fans, the video we just showed you was BKFC fighter Reggie Barnett's original tryout in Philadelphia. And let me tell you, you said the truth, Reggie. You certainly are destroying all your opponents. Do you remember that tryout day?
Yes, I do. It was one of the best moments and times of my life. I went up there and I truly felt like a star. I went out there and shined. And, you know, y'all have seen my work in the league. I said, anybody you put in front of me, I'm going to destroy or try to destroy. We've only came up short once, and I don't really look at that as a loss. I feel like I just ran out of time. That's it. If we fought old school bare knuckle rules to where somebody actually quit, I don't think Johnny Bedford would have beat me that fight because I'm not built that way.
I'm going to ask you about Johnny Bedford a little later in the interview, but right now let's talk about your upcoming fight at BKFC 12 with Abdiel Velazquez. How's training camp going?
Camp has actually been going absolutely fantastic. Of course, I've been over at Grindstone Athletics working on some things. We've brought in some other guys from a few other camps, added a few more things to my arsenal to prepare for the next fight. And so we're 2 weeks away today. So we're just kind of winding down, fine-tuning everything. I had really good sparring tonight.
So, Reggie, without giving away all your secrets, what is the game plan for this fight?
I mean, yes and no. The game plan is the same for every fight. Go out there and put the pressure on and push the pace. And that's the game plan. That's what I'm going to go out there and do, and we'll see how well Abdiel can handle that. So, but I'm ready for anything. Like I said, we've been continuing to add new tools and weapons to the arsenal within the rules of BKFC. So, you know, nobody got to see what I did to Matt Murphy. And to me personally, that's kind of an advantage because you can't go back and study that fight and see the new stuff that I used in that fight. You just have to wish and hope I don't break it out on Abdiel. Just has to hope I don't break it out on him too.
That's a good point. I didn't look at it that way, but you do make a good point about that. What about the fact that you've got two southpaws fighting?
I mean, it's always an adverse matchup. We don't really see each other too much, but you work on those things. You prepare. You know that you're not the only southpaw in the world and that eventually you'll fight another southpaw. And so you just train to make the adjustments necessary to fight another southpaw. And I think it even makes it a more interesting match.
All right. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Reggie, is the stats say you're 2 inches taller than Abdiel. Does that give you a clear advantage in the fight, do you think?
I didn't even know that I was 2 inches taller. I thought me and Abby were relatively the same height. I have to go back and look at the stats, but really, I have an abnormal reach for somebody that's only 5'5". I find myself having a pretty good reach advantage over most of my opponents, even guys that are taller than me. So the height thing really, I don't really look towards. I know that I have a good reach advantage, and my outside boxing game, we all know, is absolutely phenomenal. So first he's going to have to get past the hands to get close enough, and then we'll see what he do, if he can deal with what I'll do to him when he does get closer.
What does it mean for you to be a fighter?
For me, I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons and whys, and that you accumulate as you take the journey as a fighter. The first one, I think, is just the fact that there have been certain circumstances and things that have happened in my life that's forced me to fight and overcome for the things I wanted. And so in my fighting, I do those things, and then I try to inspire other people, you know, to push through and keep fighting through odds. And we saw that, and I was telling somebody else that had I not gone through some of the things I went through in life, you know, even the struggles and the hardships, I wouldn't have got up off the canvas. And that's a difference between me and some of the other fighters that you have seen in the BKFC, where, you know, they'll get knocked down and they suddenly, in their mind, they make that decision that they're not going to get up and keep fighting. I'm not built that way because of, you know, the things that have happened in life. And I wouldn't change any of it, the good, the bad, the hardships. It's me who I am. And I just hope that in my fighting and people knowing my story and some of the things that I've gone through, you know, it can inspire them to keep fighting for what they want in life, no matter what it is.
It's probably a good time for some of our new viewers to get to know you a little bit better, Reggie. If they haven't already been following you, then they should. Let's talk about your journey, because it is very courageous and inspiring to people.
Yeah, definitely. We won't go all the way back to the beginning. I want to say in my teenage years, you know, I struggled with running the streets a little bit. I dabbled in alcoholism, you know, and of course, you know, the things that teenagers do. And as I got a little bit older, I got involved in the street life, and things just kind of spiraled out of control. And in that, I became really depressed, and my depression bred to alcoholism. And I turned into a severe alcoholic for a long time. I want to say I got sober when I was 25, 26, but that was also because I ended up getting incarcerated. But I fought in between those times. I did boxing, I did MMA, you know, bare knuckle wasn't even thought of, but I wasn't the fighter I am now. You know, I always had the greatness inside me, but those struggles and not being able to deal with those demons, I wasn't able to achieve the level of fighting. I won't say greatness, but, you know, compete at this capacity and go out there and put on for the fans the way I do. But like I said, I did a little bit of time, if that's what you want to call it, and I sat myself down, and a lot of people don't know that I asked the judge for more time when I went up before him so that I could go. There was I guess you could call it a program, special prison, whatever you want to call it, but I knew that it was a tool that I could use to help, you know, better myself and perhaps change my mind in the way that I was thinking, because for a long time my mind was corrupted, and I believed that I wasn't even going to live to 25 at one point in my life. And here I am, 34 years old, and on the brink of hopefully earning another world title shot. If that doesn't inspire somebody, you know, if that doesn't, you know, give somebody some hope or courage. And yes, it was tough. You know, it was overwhelmingly tough at some points. But like I said, you grit and bear it. You accept what's going on, and you push through, and you keep moving forward. You make the adjustment, and you keep moving forward. And so that's what I've done in life. And like I said, I hope, you know, me getting out there and showing what I'm capable of after knowing how low I have been, how high God has lifted me, inspires other people to chase their dreams and fight, like I said, fight for what they believe in.
Thank you so much, Reggie, for sharing that story, because, you know, a lot of people out there do struggle with alcoholism, depression. Kids are coming off the street. So to hear you tell that story with such honesty and such emotion, and show the younger kids that they can, or anybody who's struggling, that they can move from point A to point B, it really shows that you've become a much more mature person, which brings me to my next question. This is your 6th BKFC fight. How have you matured as a fighter?
As a fighter, the maturity, I understand the game a little bit more and its precepts than I really did when we first went out there. Of course, we always try to push the boundaries and, I guess, bring something new to the table. But as far as maturing as a fighter, especially that world title fight, I was ready physically, but mentally, I learned a hard lesson that I thought I had learned as an amateur fighter, but I still didn't, because when I got up off that canvas, I was mad. I mean, if anybody goes back and watches that fight, I was mad. And all my skill, all my technique, everything that we worked on for those 8 weeks in camp completely went out of the window. And so the next 2 rounds, you know, I'm fighting mad, and you can't fight mad. You can't fight in your emotions. You you still have to be an adult about the situation and approach it with a cool, sound mind and with your technique and skill. And even when I sat down in the corner, I'm going to be completely honest. My father was giving me instructions, and all I was doing was looking across the ring at Johnny like, I'm going to knock you down. I'm going to knock you down. That was all I was thinking. There was no, get back on my jab, not use my angles, throw combination, everything that I know that I could have used to come out on there are no woulda, shoulda, coulda. You asked how I matured as a fighter. I learned not to fight based upon my emotions, and to still, even if I get hit, hurt, or whatever, fight in a cool, calm, collective manner and use my weapons instead of, like I said, I was seeing red, and we saw what happened. I didn't get the job done.
It's important for viewers to understand because so much of the fight game is mental. Even the warm-up to the weigh-ins, going into the fight. It's really it's your mindset plays such an important role in the fight. Speaking of fights, when we last spoke at BKFC 10, you had told me that you wanted to fight Dat Nguyen. So is he next on your radar, or is it going to be Johnny Bedford?
That is on my radar, period. I don't care. We did a couple other interviews. We've spoke. We actually jumped on an interview together, and like I said, that be that bitch. Excuse my language. That is my hashtag. I'm staying with it, and if I offend anybody, I'm sorry. But as far as bare knuckle and the business aspect of it, I'm an OG in the league, and so I will play my position, and I respect whatever my boss asks me to do when I fight, where I fight. I'm there because I support bare knuckle first, hands down. And when I came into the league, I told Dave, I don't want to just be a fighter. I love fighting. So of course I want to go out there and I want to fight, but however I can help, and I love bare knuckle, And so that is next in line for the title shot. I'm cool with it. I will respect that. Right. But at the same time, don't talk shit about me. Don't disrespect my family, my wife, my children, say all these things and then try to backtrack on the things that you said. That's not what men do. And so if we're in this league, in a league where people get to settle their disputes, fisticuffs, eventually, and you can't say you're one of the best fighters in the 135-pound division because you won 2 fights, over people that me and the current champion already beat. Right? So beat somebody that's not already been beat by one of those 2 people yet. And then you could say you're the best. But like I said, I will play my position, and they'll fight each other. And whoever wins, that's cool. If Dat wins and is the champ, I'm going to whoop Dat's ass and take the belt from him. If Johnny wins and is still the champ, in all honesty, I don't want to fight Johnny right. Of course, I want to be the world champion. I will be the world champion. We will keep working hard until that opportunity, that door opens up again. But that, yes, is on my radar, period. And I said it in another interview, and I will say it again. He has to fight me now. It does not matter whether it is bare knuckle, boxing, MMA, taekwondo, tai chi, since he wants to act like freaking Bruce Lee now. However he wants to do it, before you retire Dat Nguyen, you have to man up and fight me for the things that you say. And it won't be out of anger. And like I said, cool mind. I don't want to fight him out of anger, out of, whatever. Generally, straight up, we're going to see who is the better man. And I believe and I know in my heart that he is nowhere near as better boxer as everybody else says he is. And he knows in his heart that he's not. So it doesn't matter whether we do it bare knuckle or boxing gloves or any other way. There's no way that he can beat me. I'm sorry. I'm really like that right there. I cannot. There's only 3 people in this world that I would generally like to punch in the face right now. And Dat Nguyen is one of them. The other 2 will go unnamed right now.
Well, that is a fight that I'm sure everybody wants to see. I think it would be outstanding. Speaking of boxing, I want the viewers to see that you have a very good background in boxing, and you have a record of 6-2. When are you going to fight with gloves on again?
Actually, we are planning on, after the bare knuckle fight, picking up a boxing match before the end of the year, watching what happens, with the title fight between Johnny and Dat, and see how the water trickles out and where I fit in from there. But I want to get back in the ring. That's where I started at, and I don't want to finish my boxing career with only 8 fights. You know, I couldn't live with myself if I retired from
Fair
boxing.
enough.
So we're going to at least get 20 fights in pro boxing before I retire from that. And of course, bare knuckle is my first love. I definitely want to push that all the way. But even when I'm done fighting, however, I can continue to support the industry of bare knuckle. My aspirations when I came into this never was to be like a superstar or, you know, make lots of money or drive flashy cars or nothing like that. I like to fight. I like to put on a great show for the fans, make sure my family is taken care of and fed, and like I said, inspire other people to go out there and change their lives and fight for what they believe. So if I could do that even after I'm done fighting it within the industries, within boxing, within bare knuckle, and even MMA, I'm downside in one fight in MMA, so I do plan on getting back in the cage. Again, I will definitely get back one more. I'm going to run one more MMA fight before I retire. And, you know, of course, boxing, I will do that. And we'll go from there and see how it plays out.
So who do you want in MMA?
You know, there's not like really anybody in particular that I could look at the regional area where I'm at in mixed martial arts and be like, I want to fight him because, you know, I just not, and I haven't really too, as far as in our MMA scene, really been in it. Of course, I still practice every aspect of martial arts. We do everything. We still train every form of martial arts. So if y'all think I'm just, you know, playing with hands, don't get it twisted. I will submit you just as quickly as knock you out. I got more submission wins MMA than anything else. So, but no, whoever, but a solid, decent opponent. I don't want to just go in there and fight somebody who I'm just going to wash over. When I fight, I like to challenge myself. That's why I want to fight the best. So, you know, that you can't say you're the best until you fight the best. So you have to fight me before you retire, or you can't say you fought the best. Plain and simple. Because I am one of the best. I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn and be like, oh, I'm the best and greatest. But I know up there, when you look at some of the best fighters in the league, you can't not mention my name. And I'm cool with that. And I said that to my father when I came into this league. I want to be, you know, the Chuck Liddell, the Tito Ortiz, the Rich, you know, of BKFC. So when all is said and done, when you mention bare knuckle fighting championship, you'll be like, Reggie was one of the best 135-pound fighters who ever did it.
Well, Reggie, looks like you're starting that project pretty early, because you have a great program out called Educated Minds. So you're inspiring people already. We've got to talk about that.
All right. So the basis of the program, it's not really like a program. It's more of a thought and an initiative. And the basis of it is Educated Minds is a interchanging network of communication between kids and parents, which allows the children to educate each other, but also get the necessary social interaction that is needed in their growth. And so it is our job as parents, as teachers, and even as the children themselves to educate our minds together, to use each other, even if we have to be socially distant. It started with just looking at my own child, right? And then I looked at some of the other kids, the boxers in the gym, and they were so happy when they opened the gym back up, you know, because they could be around each other, if but for an hour. You know, the kids are so happy that they can be around each other, if but for an hour. You know, maybe 2 hours sometimes, depending on the training schedule. And then they're gone, and all they see is their brothers and sisters and siblings, and maybe that one or two kids that they've quarantined with the entire time, you know, that their parents are comfortable with them being around. But that's it. And our kids require so much more social interaction.
I applaud you for this, Reggie. This is so inspirational, and I really want to tell our viewers that we're going to check back in with Reggie after his BKFC 12 fight, and we will see what's going on with his program, Educated Minds, because I think it's a really great idea. And I think it's so hard with COVID-19 right now to raise kids. It's just, COVID-19 is the worst. I'm just happy we're getting back to fighting, thank God. Speaking of parenting, you have a new baby. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, so Nathaniel is my son. That's my baby. He's 3 months old now. And that's just I call him my little chunky. He's absolutely adorable. I'm in shock how just beautiful he is.
Before we go today, Reggie, is there anything else you want to add? And please thank your sponsors, or your mother's going to kill me.
I got a list of sponsors, so we're definitely gonna to add that. My last thought, of course, is if you got a dream, you have something you believe in, or something you're struggling with, there's a way out. You just have to be willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices and push through and make the adjustment and keep moving forward. And that's the same if you have a dream, because you're going to hit some roadblocks, you're going to hit some walls. Lord knows I have ran into a few hippers, but it's a matter of what sacrifices are you willing to make to get the things you really want in life. And I'm living proof of that every day. So I just wanted people to know that and hopefully be inspired by that. So if we go to sponsors, I want to go definitely Ginger Hill's Lemonade. And if you've never tried it, go look it up. It's absolutely delicious. But what I'm excited about is I love apple juice, but it doesn't have an apple flavor of Ginger Ale. So we're getting together in hopefully a couple of weeks, either before or right after the fight, and we're going to try to bring to the people some apple ginger ale. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. And watermelon's in season, so he's got watermelon ginger ales too. It's great I like it because it gives me energy and it helps my joints recover. So I'm going to go there. My other sponsor, Joiner Driving Improvement School, he always looks out for me if we're traveling. We're driving all the way to Florida this time. We're not flying, so he's definitely blessed us with some money for travel expenses and just definitely looking out. So I'm grateful for that. Always my A1 from day one, match bout, and they always look out for me. And they're incredible people. And still, anytime I need anything for my strength and conditioning, my home gym, 757 Boxing. Anytime I'm there 4 days a week, y'all, 5:30 to 9. Y'all can come find me. Y'all get some work, catch his hand. Everybody always talking that trash. Y'all know where to find me. Come work with me. Gordon Custom Printing. I have some beautiful brand new gloves. Absolutely love them. J&K Style Grill. That's where all my cheat days are at. They have the most amazing hamburgers, the most amazing chili cheese dogs. Whenever I have a cheat day, that's where I go. So I used to be sponsored by Cryomax, and Lisa, thank you so much for everything you did for me. She sold the business to Cryo Spa now, and they picked me up as a sponsor still, so I'm so grateful for that support and love in my local area. So I definitely have to give them a shout out. And now they have so much other new stuff there. Infrared sauna, which I had never tried before, and so I'm going to go do that tomorrow. Everybody does the old school sit in the steam and sweat sauna. I'm looking forward to seeing how the infrared and the effect it has on my weight cutting and all that. So definitely. Of course, Miss Nikki Booker over at Fight Heads MMA, always looking out for me. Where are we at? My doctor. I don't know if anybody saw the video, right? My doctor, Travis Lee, right? He's a good friend of mine, and also he gets in the trenches with me when it's time for camp. He always comes in once or twice a week, checks to see how my physicality is, and does some working out with me because he likes to stay in shape himself. If you have any, sports-related ailments, need a physical, whatever, he's an awesome doctor. And just the fact that he's willing to sweat it out with me is dope. My newest sponsor, of course, Tribal International. Has anybody seen my gloves? If you have not seen my Educated Hands gloves, please go on my freaking Instagram, go on my Facebook fan page. They're absolutely amazing. And you can get your own custom pair too, whatever logo you want, whatever you want to say on them. And I absolutely love them. I've been beating people up with them since I got them. Robin Sports for looking out and definitely helping sponsor my new fight gear. Definitely. And then my buddy Gamba Asante LLC, who does social media and video broadcasting. And then my brother, I don't know if y'all saw my video, the newest one that just got dropped.
Yes.
Go look on. I haven't put it on my Instagram yet, but it's on my Facebook fan page. So definitely look it up. My brother at B Plus Entertainment, he did a phenomenal job with that. So we're just, and the biggest shout out I have to give is to, we call it my momanger. My momanger. Momanger. I think that's how you say it. And y'all can say it how I feel, however y'all want. My wife gives me a hard time about being a mama. That woman has put in work for me over the last 3 months. Absolutely. And it's, she's got end-stage COPD. Mom's terminally ill, and she has been working her butt off for me. And I'm so grateful for it, and I feel like it's given her a purpose too. Yeah. My purpose for fighting to help other people has given my mom a purpose to keep fighting to live.
Thank you so much, Reggie Barnett. Fans, remember, Reggie is fighting from the heart since he was young, and now he's educating minds and educating hands. A fighter that really shows people what they can do. They can go from point A to point B. So, Reggie, I wish you good luck at BKFC 12. BKFC 12 goes down September 11th from Daytona Beach, Florida, and features the debut of Thiago Alves, who faces off against Phil Baroni. And we get to see Hector Lombard a second time as he returns to the Squared Circle to take on Kendall Grove. You can catch all the action on the BKTV app, which you can download. And we will be there bringing you all the beautiful bloody action. Tickets are on sale on their BKFC website at www.bareknuckletv. Reggie, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Susan, thank you so much as always for having me on. I can't wait to see you. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Fireworks, I promise you, me and Abdiel Velazquez, they've been BS around this fight. The fans can't wait to see it. It's going to be absolute fireworks.
All right, Reggie, thank you so much again for taking the time to interview with us. I'm Susan Cingari. And remember, no one beats us to the punch.